Yeah, Kim had some terrible cases. He had one where a guy on a kid on an isolated outback ranch blasted a hole in his hand with a shotgun, and it took an hour for the ambulance to get there and an hour to get to the hospital. 2 hours total. They just figured he'd lose his hand, but they gave him homeopathic Hypericum 200C. He was laughing and joking, and his hand did fine. Although, I mean, he can't have had, I mean, he didn't lose it at any rate. And Kim actually said that it was specific, as he said, for injuries in the theater of war. And he had both veterans of the Vietnam War in Australia and World War II, and baptism in the theater of war, he says. And with shrapnel wounds that, machine gun wound 40 years ago that had never healed, PTSD, one Vietnam vet who would yell and scream at his family, unstable moods, aggressive outbursts, wild, untamed fury, huge mood swings, often seen in post-traumatic survivors. He had cured that. Slowly, the man stopped traumatizing his family. Yeah, so really, really quite remarkable. Any more crazy, horrible story? Well, I mean, it just goes on and on. I mean, I met a farmer, his missing end of his finger, Canadian, and he had a lot of the tissue was torn away in a machine. His finger got caught in the machine, and the doctor, he came to the doctor, and the doctor said, "Oh, we'll have to amputate that below the first knuckle." And he said, I didn't come for an amputation. I came to get the wound dressed. He said, "You're crazy. It'll get all infected and septic." Stops that. And then they took 2 weeks later, they took the wound dressing off, and it was healing up nice. And the doctor said, "Oh, that's great. We did a great job there." He didn't mention that he'd used St. John's wort.
Visit us at the Matthew Wood Institute of Herbalism.com.